Welcome to Panther Games. If you're listening on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, links are in the bio below.
Feel free to leave a review and let us know what you guys thought, and if there's any ways we can improve, or if there's anything you guys just want to hear more of. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Thanks. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 24th episode of Pandtha Talks. We've been going for quite a bit now, actually. We're nearly at 25 episodes, a quarter of 100. It's quite impressive. So it's been a bit of a weird week. I don't know whether Will's looked much at the news lately, but Jesus Christ. Interesting things have been going on.
I didn't need to look at the news. The memes on TikTok were the news.
Pretty much, sad as it is to say, yeah. But it's it's been weird, to just sum it up. Before we do get into anything properly related to this information, though, I would like to just thank everyone who watched episode 22, the episode before last, because the last episode got 10 views, which I'm thankful for, as always. But episode 22 is at 41 views, which is our highest as of yet, so thank you all very much for your support in that.
Shout out all you guys.
On top of that, the actual podcast version, 2 downloads on the last one and 4 downloads before that. So thank you on that one as well. But we have some interesting bits for this week. Main information, I think me and Will are both happy to start with. The summer sale is coming up on Steam.
Heck yeah.
I mean, if you haven't ever experienced a summer sale, you have my sympathies. It is sad to hear, because, dear God, is it the greatest thing ever. The sales that are going to kick off in the next, by tomorrow it'll be 4 days and something hours, so it's probably going to kick off about 6 o'clock. 4 days from now. I'm saying that as though you're watching it on Sunday, so we'll see. But yeah, it should be really interesting to see how this goes, and should be quite nice to see what games you can pick up. The sales are always daft and stupid, and there's always some event to help you level your profile up, which I don't think mine needs leveling up any further, but here we are. But yeah, just a nice thing to mention. So if you are on Steam or a PC player at all, check it out. It's not long now, and definitely have some fun with that.
Heck yeah. If there's a game you've been having your eye on but aren't too sure to buy it depending on its price, hold off for another week. There might be a nice sale on it.
Oh, 100%. So, I'll move on to the next topic, because everyone's heard about it, and if you haven't, I'd say you're living under a rock, because I've been trying to avoid it, and I still hear about it daily. It drives me up the wall. And all it is basically, I say all it is, 2 billionaires have passed away because they decided to get on a submarine. I say a submarine very loosely. You may as well just call it a tin cylinder, considering the fucking pressure it managed to definitely hold up to. It's sad, 100%. 5 people have lost their lives. If you don't know, the submarine has been, some wreckage of the submarine has possibly been found, and it seems as though the submarine imploded, killing all 5 people. One of which was a 19-year-old, which is quite sad to hear. It's quite a young age to go at. What, as I will continue to say, does surprise me is one of the billionaires was a UK billionaire, and he made his money from aircraft, which you'd expect someone who salvages, disables, and sells on aircraft, etc., to know about pressurized seals. I'll never understand that, but here we are. But one of the biggest criticisms that came about from this scenario was that they were using a Logitech controller to control the submarine, which in itself is a fucking weird decision, to put it lightly. Not really going to sugarcoat that. It's not something that you fucking would see very often. This submarine was apparently tested in lots of depths, but simultaneously, apparently someone was fired for saying that it was a unsafe decision. Now, the people that went on this apparently paid 250 grand a piece to get on, and that's pretty much the facts of as we know. There's been some hits and misses, some information coming from everywhere. You see it no matter where you look at the moment. But there's one party regarding this that I feel personally is the reason we've got to talk about this topic, as much as I didn't even want to acknowledge its existence. And it's because I kind of feel bad for them. But Logitech are actually being affected because of the stupidity of this. So much so, we have people who are actually going out and criticising Logitech and trying to turn it into some sort of console war, which is the most dumb thing I've ever heard of. Now, I'd like to quickly touch on this article, and then I've got some screenshots and information I'd like to show you after that. So the article basically goes into the fact that Logitech's stock has suffered a massive hit, and this is because of due to sarcastic Amazon reviews and other things, due to the use of it on the Titan sub. Now, I just want to put this out there because some people do not seem to have any brain cells to be able to understand this, but once you purchase a product, if you decide to dismantle said product and attach it to something, it's on your head what happens from there. No one else can be blamed for silly actions. The company who sells it can only do so much. The company who creates it can only do so much. Sadly, there is nothing in regards to what can be done when you take something and do something with it that isn't expected. I don't know how Will feels about that, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Logitech's been around for a long time, man. Their products are obviously work. But as you say, if you're going to dismantle and attach it to something it shouldn't be attached to, chances are it's not going to work as intended.
Yeah, 100%.
They're definitely not at fault. They, in their own conscious mind, made the decision to do what they've done with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But
so
the Amazon reviews are really bad.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Logitech took a stock hit and was flooded with negative and sarcastic reviews on its Amazon page after it was revealed the Swiss computer manufacturer was behind the video game controller used to navigate the ill-fated Titan submersible. According to OceanGate, the 21-foot submarine was made with a handful of the shelf components, including scaffolding poles for the sub's ballast and a video game controller in place of a steering wheel. Specifically, a modified Logitech F710 wireless controller was used to operate the $250,000 AC vessel. Now, once again, it states right there, modified Logitech F710. So, they've already modified the controller from what it was meant to do. Logitech's US listed shares have fallen 3.4% since Monday, the day the news broke that the vessel carrying 5 passengers was missing after it lost connection with its mothership, Polar Prince. The shares, which have plunged as much as 11% on Wednesday, were recently $55.71 in the early Friday trades. Why should Logitech be taking a hit due to this? It's completely unfair to blame them on behalf of the bloody customer that purchased it.
Which they, again, modified and then attached to a tin can of a submarine.
Exactly. It's most commonly used as a controller for video games on the PlayStation console. Right, I keep seeing this listed, right? It's used as a PlayStation console. Well, then why the hell is it YBAX? The exact system for the Xbox. I keep seeing that named constantly, that it's a PlayStation control. Then why is it the Xbox labels? It's not triangle, circle, X, and square. Just come on,
Nobody knows,
people.
my friend.
The listing's question and answer section has been inundated with sarcastic queries like, can I use this for my submersible? And would you recommend this controller for piloting a tourist submarine? Asking for a friend, thanks. The thing is, as funny as they are, which is true, fair play, they're kind of amusing. Here we are, actually. D-pad PC. Ah, it actually states it's a PC controller. Not surprised. And this is the exact one they used. So where did they get the fact that it works on PlayStation? Because even here it says buy a PS3 controller. I don't get that. That is dumb. But if we go down to the reviews, have we got any in here, or are we okay?
They might have all been filtered out by now.
It seems like that might be.
I mean, they're false reviews, so I think they have
Seems
every
like
right
Amazon's done its
to
thing.
remove them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Meanwhile, a cheaper Logitech game controller, the F310 model that is listed as Amazon's choice for $24.99, also bursts comments since the submersible began its doomed voyage to the Titanic wreck, trolling the product. See if there's any on here. Also, clearly an Xbox controller.
If it's meant for
But
PC,
it's for
it makes
PC.
sense why it's YBXA.
Yeah, because that is primarily what we use when it's controlled like that. That's how it works.
An Xbox controller is what you would normally use.
Yeah.
When you try to use a controller on PC.
That's all fine. Just making sure here, wanting to be 100%. Okay, nothing in here. Works great in a Tesla Model Y.
Interesting.
May 26th. So that's before the submarine situation.
Do they have X set for turbo?
I have no idea. Okay, so there's nothing in regards there. The little amount as well don't seem too bad. Yeah, seems like they've got rid of them. Okay. So it seems like they have removed the trolled comments, which, to be honest, is a good thing. They don't deserve to deal with criticism for something that's nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Look elsewhere for your submarine needs. One user wrote alongside a 1-star review. Controller sank my submarine, another penned in a poor review, which nearly 200 others upvoted. In a 2-star review, customer warned, do not use this for submarine steering a submarine, huge mistake. Perfect for controlling my submersible, love finding economic solutions to my problems.
You can understand how they took a hit in their monetary side of things because there were a lot of fake reviews left, which were all like low star, which would have brought down the overall rating of their products. And then that looks bad on the company, so their stocks would drop. So 100%. I can actually understand exactly how it's completely screwed them over. But hopefully, once all those fake reviews get cleared up, it'll sort of revert back to normal.
Another thing I would like to just quickly point out: this is the outer wall, right, of the submersible that's been sank. Do you notice something here about what they've done? They screwed into
Guys,
the
it's meant to
fucking
be
wall.
sealed pressure tank, but let's just create some holes real quick.
Just so we can stick his monitor in, yeah. Clever idea, that.
I'm sure there were many flaws made.
Oh, it seems like it.
There'll probably be like a whole comprehensive research thing done.
It's such a mistake. But I do not believe that Logitech, of all people, should be crucified due to this. So, Rush 61 was one of the 5 passengers on board the Titan, which is now believed to implode, killing everyone on board. Also aboard the Titan was Titanic specialist Paul Henry Norgilot, UK billionaire Hamish Harding, he was the guy who was the specialist with aircraft, and Pakistani billionaire and mogul Shanzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son Suleiman. After debris from the vessel was found on the ocean floor, it was revealed that a top-secret US Navy acoustic detection system picked up sounds from the implosion. The US Coast Guard announced the passenger's death on Thursday afternoon. But yeah, that is one part. I'm now just going to quickly pull up my downloads here, so I do have some bits and bats here. So what I'm going to do, Will, is I'm going to share my screen with you and just show you a few bits of what we've got here. Some of them are clearly jokes. Others, I'm not even sure. I'm really not. Someone just clearly pointing out what type of controller it is, because a lot of people were clearly stating for some reason it was an off-brand PlayStation controller. Which, once again, how do you mistake the YBXA? I will never get. My man, don't diss PlayStation. That was a knockoff Logitech controller, which makes it about a million times worse, by the way, lol. Again, need to add, Logitech are actually quite a good company for controllers. It's just being used for something it should not be used for.
Quite a good company for things in general, given how big they
You
are.
what, sorry?
They're quite a good company in general, given how big they are and how many products they have for sale.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the webcam we used when you were around and the mouse and keyboard I use are all Logitech. I really like Logitech as a brand. That's the wrong way. Haha, the controls were made out of a Logitech PlayStation controller. I do hope they find it, though. Be a hell of a way to go. LMAO for real, can you imagine your DualShock running out of batteries and you sink with the Titanic? There's some comments and a half. Not even PlayStation controller with DualShock and a touchpad, a fucking Logitech. What the hell would a DualShock and touchpad have done? It's not going to make any difference. Yes and no. An actual reliable controller like a PlayStation 1 or an Xbox One, yes, all the time. A shitty Logitech one that has tons of issues with connectivity and you bought to save a few bucks, no, red flags. Yes, this is true. The submarines gain control of standard use submarine tanks, drones, etc. for the military. I know it sounds funny to you, but it's actually one of the least remarkable things about the submarine. Which is true. That is some actual true information. But the type of controller does not matter. It's the fact that the submarine clearly was not up to standard.
I also very much doubt that a billionaire is going to buy that controller solely to save a few bucks.
Exactly. It's not even a legit Xbox or PlayStation controller, it's a cheap Logitech knockoff. Which, once again, this controller was about $45. To pick up an Xbox One controller, I can pick one up for, what, talking about 30 quid? So about the same price. If not, at times a bit more expensive, dependent. So, not sure. Logitech controller, PlayStation would never. You're trying to tell me that if it was a PlayStation controller, everything would have been fine. Can't see that somehow. You was, sir.
I wonder what platform that person prefers.
I know, right? It's almost like PlayStation fans have to make everything a competition. It's a Logitech controller. OceanGate has a video up about it. It wasn't even a Sony, it was a Logitech from 2005. Google
What I'm
F.
confused about as well is like how are they all going on about the controller whenever the submarine flipping imploded, dude?
Oh yeah, that's the big question. What the
Like,
hell
why
does
is everyone going nuts about the controller?
exactly? What the hell does a controller have to do with an implosion? That's the big question. Google F710 connection drops intermittently. Which, yes, the connection does drop intermittently because it is a wireless controller. But once again, it does not matter because it's nothing to do with the fact that it imploded. And that's why I play on PlayStation. What the hell does that have to do with anything? That's like, thankfully, all I've got in regards to that, but it's been a dumb week. I don't understand how you can turn 5 people dying in a submarine implosion into an argument about console devices and controller platform. And also, how the fuck you can get YXBA confused with triangle, circle, square, and X? Jesus Christ, people. You're supposed to be fans of the platform. Understand what the hell the controller is. Yeah, what? F710, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Here's the Logitech F710. Photo of it.
63 quid.
YBXA.
So it's actually more expensive than like an Xbox or PlayStation controller.
Yep. Way more expensive.
So I think the last thing that happened was
£42.
a billionaire cheaped out on a controller.
So £42 for the F710 on Amazon. Then let's go and do a. I'm gonna have to blur that out. Let's go and do a. Let's check PlayStation 5 controller. $64.99 there.
They're like customized ones, though. If you
yeah,
like,
true.
the price of just a bog standard one.
Let's have a look at the box standard. £57. But now is my bigger question. What's the point when people are saying DualShock 2? Which, if I remember right, DualShock 2 is what's in a PlayStation 4 controller. So, in that case...
Jeez, they have dropped in price.
Yep. Same with Xbox controllers, mate. They're all a lot cheaper nowadays. As you can see. As I said, I'm going to have to blur a lot of that out, but oh well.
Yep. That's what you get for going to Amazon.
I know, right? Never going to Amazon again on stream. Bloody hell.
Some weird stuff on Amazon.
Ain't that just? So, that is pretty much all I've really got to say about the submarine situation. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Will?
It was a terrible idea.
I'd fully agree. It was really dumb. That's all there is to say. Is it sad that 5 people have died? Of course it is. And I don't care whether you're rich, poor, whatever. People have died. It's not about how much money they had or anything else. It's the exact same as if a dumb person who's poor does something silly. Yes, people are going to rib them. You can't just suddenly go, people are sad, or people are just making jokes. It's across the board for everyone. Because I see a lot of people laughing primarily because they're rich people, but if someone was dumb and poor and did similar shit, you'd be really upset about it. Either way, it's sad. We've lost 5 lives. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
But finally, we got to go back to regular gaming news because Jesus Christ, I'm happy that topic's over. I've been so miserable knowing I've had to bring that up.
Yeah, definitely not a nice thing to talk about, but unfortunately it's happened.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. We like to cover as gaming news and things that are going on. And if it wasn't for the fact that Logitech was basically being attacked and slaughtered during this process, I would not have mentioned it for the slightest because there was no reason.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they are losing stock and value and everything else, and they're a really good company for what they make. The equipment they make, especially for PC, is at times unrivaled. The Logitech G502 Hero is the mouse I use. One of the most commonly used and favorited mouses out there. And I absolutely love it. It's a great mouse, it's comfortable to use, and if mine breaks, I will buy another one. The G910 keyboard I use, equally the same. I love the keyboard, it does everything I need it to do. I'm happy with what I have from them, and I've never had an issue with them. So I don't really understand why they should be taking the brunt of some silly decisions.
Yeah. Hopefully their stock and all their um publicity will go back to normal once everything settles down a bit. All
That's
the
the hope.
ridiculous reviews that are clearly just bullshit get changed up and removed.
100%. I fully agree. I do just hope things go back to normal for them soon.
It'll probably take them a few months, and it probably will hit the company pretty bad. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's not really anything else they can do.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. But let's go back to some regular gaming news, shall we?
Yeah, do you have anything nice for us?
Uh,
You never do, Rory. You never do.
yeah. No, I don't have anything positive this week. Shit.
Oh, lovely.
You know what?
Nice.
Actually, no,
I
I
see
do.
something bad about Stardew, or not? What
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield. Jesus.
No,
Is it
Star.
already going bad on Starfield, dude?
No, thankfully not. But we'll get into this. But I would just like to say, I do actually have something good to talk about at the end. Don't worry.
I don't believe you.
I've been playing a game recently. I'd like to
I
discuss
have
it.
17 reasons to not believe you.
Of course. The failure of Starfield will be the end of Xbox. Readers feature. I do like it when Metro just gives readers the fucking floor. Because it just gives me someone to laugh at for a bit. A reader is concerned that the hype of Starfield is out of control, and that it's impossible for the game to live up to expectations. I've got a feeling the next year, probably just the next few months, are going to see some seismic shifts in the game industry. If I was a company looking to get into gaming, someone like Apple or Amazon or Google, I would choose now to do it. All three console makers seem to be in disarray. Apple have attempted, Amazon are in the games industry, Google, well, I don't have to say anything about Stadia, do I?
What's Stadia?
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo hasn't put a foot wrong in a while, but they're about to transition to a new console, and that always makes them vulnerable. Nobody has been able to work out why Sony are acting the way they are at the moment, and have been doing for the last year or more. But they seem to be throwing away their reputation in favour of appearing as unresponsive and distant as possible. And then you have Microsoft, who, after their Xbox Game Showcase, seem to be in the best position. But as far as I can see, it's a house of cards with Starfield, the shakiest foundation they could have asked for. Yes, a lot of their games look good, but if Microsoft was so confident in them, why are none of them playable? Any game can look good if you edit a trailer well enough, and I remember just how good Fallout 4 looked before I actually played it. I would just like to add, a lot of their other games that actually showed gameplay looked really good. Starfield was not the only game there, and asking why they're not playable the exact day, look at every single bloody showcase out there. There were very few games that were playable the day of. The latest one that I can remember that did this was Hi-Fi Rush, that announced and released the same day. And that came to critical success. It was absolutely beloved. As many people have already pointed out, Bethesda are about as far away from a safe pair of hands as you could get, and not just because of their infamous tendency towards bugs and jank, but because of all the other things they've never been good at, like action and dialogue, and faces for some reason. Perhaps the shooting has got better. I hear they got ID software to help, but just from looking at the trailer, you can see the space combat looks off, and the dialogue and facial animation is still well behind most other Western role playing developers. I don't really agree with this. I'd say the stories that the Elder Scrolls game, for example, and also the Fallout games tell are quite good. I like the stories. I enjoy the characters and what they create. I don't know about you, Will, but
I love Skyrim.
yeah. But
No
like
other words.
the stories that you can find from each character, or just the notes left behind, it's all quite good.
Yeah, there's a lot of time as well. You're sort of just left wondering what happened here,
Yeah,
and then you progress and find out more. It's fun.
exactly. The last time I can remember Bethesda doing shit at dialogue was Oblivion, and that was because of the single fucking leftover one. Still a funny one. I'm not saying Starfield is going to be bad. I've not played it any more than anyone else has, but it seems to me that the chances of it disappointing, at least to some degree, are very high. Every game will disappoint everyone to at least some degree. There is never a game that's going to be 100% perfect.
No matter what, there'll always be some sort of feature or function in a game that you aren't 100% in agreement with, and that'll disappoint you.
Exactly. Especially given the hype of the last week or so. People build themselves up so much, and Xbox fans have so many years of pent up frustration inside them that it seems like a dangerous cocktail to me. Xbox has promised the world, and yet delivering it, I wouldn't bet on them pulling it off. It seems to me that Microsoft has always had a bit of an inferiority complex in the games industry, as they take even the smallest victory as a major coup, convincing themselves that middling games are masterpieces and flawed developers like Bethesda are industry giants. Bethesda is an industry giant, though. You can try and claim otherwise as much as you'd like to, but as most people also really do know, it isn't just Xbox fans who love Bethesda. It's PlayStation fans as well. I actually have something on my phone that I didn't send to myself for some reason. I really should actually bring that up at some point. But I have basically this picture that I came across that was all about a change.org petition. I'll see if I can find it. There it is. Make Starfield a PS5 exclusive.
First of all,
3,333 signatures of 5,000. Why this petition matters. For over a decade, Bethesda games have been released on PlayStation. They perform better on PlayStation, run better, and sell better. Xbox, and especially Phil Spencer, have no business taking them away. First, Xbox exclusivity would not only hurt PlayStation, but also their player base. When a major game like Starfield is only available on Xbox, it limits the player count of the game and stifles the amount of players PlayStation has. This means that now Microsoft can charge higher prices because they don't have competition and take away players from Sony. We cannot allow this.
is this not exactly what PlayStation's been doing for how long now?
Exactly. It's what exclusives cause in general, but because it's an exclusive that they want, they can't allow this.
I'm starting to think that any fanboy or PlayStation fanboy like this person here are all just giant hypocrites.
Exactly. Second, Xbox and its 12 dedicated players do not deserve Starfield or any exclusivity. Not only are they arrogant and annoying, but since the showcase they have been irritating. They keep sharing Starfield news telling us get an Xbox if they didn't complain about Spider-Man or Ghost of Tsushima or any of, like if they didn't, sorry, or any of the PS titles themselves. I've been complaining
They
about this.
they themselves are the arrogant ones.
Yeah.
Xbox is literally their leading competition, but apparently they're saying it has 12 dedicated players.
Yep.
Also, Starfield will be on PC, right?
Yes, it will.
So I think they're just getting a taste of their own medicine, PlayStation players here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have been complaining because I've really wanted to play Ghost of Tsushima for a while. I'm still waiting for it to come on PC. I will not get a PS5 for Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't want to get it on my PS4 because I don't feel it'd be the best quality that I can get to play it at. And I really would like to play it. Now, obviously, I'd like to play it on the PC, but that's it. That's all I've said. That's all I will ever say about it. Now, every time I've mentioned it in the past, they have told me, get a PlayStation then. But then simultaneously, I don't know if you remember the conversation from, I think it was a few weeks back. They were stating about how they were upset that PlayStation games weren't selling as well on PC because people weren't supporting them. Yet they completely forget the fact that they kept telling PC players to get a PlayStation. Why would you repurchase the game? Some people will, but not everyone's going to. They've already bought it once. Third, exclusivity is not good for Starfield itself. The matter is simple. If it releases on Xbox, it's a bad game. Go look at Redfall or Halo Infinite as examples. If it releases on PlayStation, there's a 90% chance that it's a good game. There's no way around it. Anyone who says otherwise is deceiving you and is the reason the gaming industry has such low standards today. Oh. Unless you want to see Starfield fail, you need to have it on PlayStation. The 30 FPS lock is just the tip of the iceberg. Switching the roles here, if PlayStation had it as an exclusive, do you honestly believe they would allow it to run so poorly on the console? No, they would shame Todd Howard into properly optimizing it. It's not only software related, but hardware as well. While it could run at a 60 FPS on a Series X, Microsoft has to allow it to run that poorly due to its inferior Series S, which they must keep support for, as the small Xbox player base is known to have very little money for gaming. Arrogant. Fourth, I keep getting told they care about quality now. Phil Spencer forced them to delay it for quality. I have news for you. Pill Dispenser, I like that actually, that's quite funny. Pill Dispenser is a pushover. The guy in charge of Xbox but doesn't care enough to check games before they release. Oh, what? You're gonna tell me he checked Redfall and still chose to release it that way? Better yet, He has owned Obsidian and Bethesda for years now, and despite the overwhelming demand for a New Vegas sequel or remake, he refuses to do it. This is actually incorrect. Yes, he owns both companies. Well, Xbox owns both companies, he's just the CEO. But he has always stated he will give them the choice to make what games they want, as long as they basically push forward the ideas and are like, yes, that's good, cool, work on that. That's about it. They push the funding for a game that they see looks good. Simple as that. They're not going to force them to make things that they don't want. It's the exact reason I'm for the Activision Blizzard sale. Because I want to see Call of Duty devs possibly work on something a bit out of the comfort zone. Make something new. Expand the industry.
Hey, they can even stick to FPS. It's just something different. That's maybe like screw this constant player versus player crap. It's the same shit for the last decade now. Go and make a new FPS that's just completely story based and spin off this crazy tale or some shit.
Exactly.
Anything. They can literally do anything.
And that is the reason I'm for the Xbox purchase of it. Honestly, that is it. Demand for a new Vegas sequel or remake, and he refuses to do it. He probably went up to Todd trembling like a chihuahua, quietly asking, "Please, Mr. Howard, may we use the Fallout IP with another studio?" and ran with his tail between his legs when told no. He has no spine. Switch the roles here. If PlayStation had bought both of these companies, New Vegas would have been the first thing they did. That one hurts, doesn't it? No, they wouldn't have.
They couldn't buy both those companies because they were too busy paying for all their exclusives.
Yep. For all of these reasons, it is important that Bethesda games for Bethesda games to remain available on PlayStation. Not only that, but to ensure the high quality of the games, any and all future Bethesda titles should be only PlayStation exclusives. This would ultimately be good for everyone and not just Sony, as they have a history of investing heavily in first party studios and could use its financial resources to make Bethesda games even better while forcing them to actually be good. Additionally, Sony has a strong track record of marketing and promoting its games, which could help Bethesda games reach a wider audience and grow the PlayStation player count. Everyone agrees with me on this, and if you don't, look at yourself. You're the reason the AAA games industry is such low quality, because you worship a company that doesn't care about quality of content they publish. I think both Xbox and PlayStation have their drawbacks. I think both companies need a wake-up call, and I think PlayStation players and Xbox players are equally quite scummy. I just think PlayStation players are worse. That's it. Signing this petition is just the start. We need to go out and protest at GameStops and Walmarts on Starfield's release date.
Jesus, man.
We need to submit legislation to our local representatives to force Microsoft to comply. We need to go out in mass and stop people from buying copies in launch day. We even better
Who
go
goes
on...
out to buy a copy anymore?
I know.
You've forgotten it's the digital age now.
Even better, go online and report every video you see praising Starfield until we make it exclusive for us and only us. YouTubers like Mr. Matty Plays Bad Games, Review Fat USA, Lemon Juice, Fritanga Complains, and the Young Turds need to all be cancelled immediately. If you're a true gamer, 90% of those are not even the true channel's names. Actually, all of them aren't. Immediately, if you're a true gamer, you will support this and sign. I don't need trolls coming here to complain that we actually care about gaming, and I don't care how many of you come to insult me. Cry, scope, seethe, and mould Xbox, but my points are valid and true. Let's see. I've got to check this. Oh wait, where is it? I can't. Oh, he's hidden them. He's hidden the comments. It hit 3,000 supporters 3 days ago. He started it a week ago. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's what I had a screenshot of. What? Sorry,
There was a tab for updates. It might have had something.
that was.
Yeah.
See that?
At the top.
Ah, nothing.
Never mind.
Wonderful. So yeah,
Oh, no, it's
that's the shit we have to deal with.
Who knows, man? Who really knows?
So yeah, when I'm debating this article's points, it's because there's so many that are like this, and to be honest, it's really sad to see.
Honestly, now I just like desperately hope that on release it's like a flawless game and it's like runs really well, even on 30 frames, looks brilliant. I just really hope now. I know it's not gonna be the case, but wouldn't it be amazing?
Oh, it'd be the greatest thing to ever happen. It'd be hilarious. But I'd say, to be honest, the other guy probably made 90% of this guy's points. I'm not even joking. I genuinely believe that. But this guy, to sum it up, just believes that if Starfield was to fail, it would destroy Xbox. Because they promised the worlds, and yet delivering it, he wouldn't bet on it.
I mean,
But actually, we've only got 4 paragraphs left.
all I'm gonna mention though is so far in 2023, everything has been a shit show.
Yeah,
A catastrophic one at that.
I would agree. It's been quite bad. It really has. But like I said, I don't know for sure. Maybe all games they had at the showcase are bangers, and Microsoft is just being coy. What I do know is if these games, and in particular Starfield and Fable, turn out to be duds, or even just okay, then I think Xbox will have exhausted its last chance. They already run Halo and Gears of War into the ground, so who's going to trust them again with whatever else they pretend is the next big thing? If they do buy Activision Blizzard, perhaps they can just skate by on that. But to me, the whole showcase was a major risk. If everything works out, then they win big. But if they fall on their face, I don't think they're getting up again. I just have to disagree with it. Because no matter what, one company fucks up numerous times a year, and I'm not even talking about Xbox or PlayStation. There are games companies that fuck up constantly. Yet they can release that one thing, that one big game that just pushes everything out of the water.
It's because that's all it takes.
Yeah. It's like the newer Call of Duty games, before the recent two, Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops Cold War. But if we went just before them, you had about 4 Call of Duty games straight, was it, that were just shocking?
Well, all the futuristic ones that were just absolutely just in
all
shambles.
You had them, and that was an absolute shit show. An absolute shit show, and a far cry from what Call of Duty should have been. And then they made the new Modern Warfare, and it pulled back loads of people. Why? Not because they had the trust of the audience, no, not of course. Because it looked to be a good game, and it turned out it was a good game. All you have to do is release the one thing that your audience wants. Doesn't matter what your history is. If you pull it off, people are happy. That's about it. I thought I'd just quickly hit on this. I'm not going to go read the full article. If you do want to read it yourself, here it is. You can see that yourself. You can check it out. Xbox would suffer irreparable harm if it went back on the COD PlayStation promises. In the FTC trial, Phil Spencer explains why Xbox won't withhold Call of Duty if its Activision Blizzard acquisition goes through. Now, you remember as well as I do, Will, I'm sure, when we went through this, it was pretty much, if they stopped selling to PlayStation, there would not be enough sales to actually properly go through with it. For
stop selling the PlayStation, though, it's just going to mean PlayStation won't get exclusives. Like, they're not stupid. They're not going to just completely cut out probably a third of their market if they were to stop selling to one big console company.
Exactly. And that pretty much just sums up what this is about. But I will just read a quote here that's going on. I will just read this and then I'll read the little bit below. As part of the ongoing hearings in which the FTC is seeking a preliminary injunction to prevent the acquisition from going through without further review, Spencer was asked if he would expect any kind of reaction from the PlayStation COD fans if the series was pulled from PlayStation systems. Absolutely. I think, as we've seen even in preparation for this, that gamers are an active and vocal group. Us pulling Call of Duty from PlayStation, in my view, would create irreparable harm to the Xbox brand after me in so many public places, including here, talking about committing to us all to us not playing Call of Duty from PlayStation. I think it meant pulling. Asked to again reiterate Xbox commitment to releasing COD on PlayStation, Spencer said, I would raise my hand. I will do whatever it takes. We have no plan to pull Call of Duty. I'm making a commitment standing here that we will not pull Call of Duty. It is my testimony from PlayStation. And as you said, Sony obviously has to allow us to ship the game on their platform. But absent any of that, my commitment and testimony is we will continue to ship future versions of Call of Duty on Sony's PlayStation 5. Honestly, that's just like their little loophole there. PlayStation 6, on the other hand, go fuck yourself. But no, he's come out and said it everywhere he can. I cannot see him going back on that. It's as simple as that, in my opinion.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, why cut out a third of your market?
Exactly.
A third of your profits.
It would not be a wise decision.
My only thought is someone double dared him.
Double, triple dare you, bitch. And our final article for the day. The Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't have confirmed platforms yet, and is 5+ years away.
Alright, you're gonna make me cry here.
I know. I told my partner earlier, and she was not very happy.
So I doubt it'll compare to Skyrim.
In positive or negative?
Just in general, I don't think anything will ever be anything like what Skyrim was.
Well, you got to think as well. Skyrim's been out for what? 11 years
10,
now?
11 years, something like that.
And this is still 5+ years away.
Yeah.
The development that's going to have gone on between that time is going to be insane.
But maybe it's the engine it was ran on and the things that happened because of how poor it ran. That's what made Skyrim.
Highly possible.
Stupid shit that you could pull off. Just slap a bucket on someone's head and rob them blind.
Watch it. The first thing someone's going to try is sticking a bucket on someone's head, and they'll just pick the bucket off the head and put it on the floor.
No, the bucket won't have a proper hitbox. It'll be one solid square.
Don't say that. Don't upset me.
Line of the bucket. You know it's true, Roy.
Don't do this, man.
Everyone learned from Skyrim. They don't allow us to put buckets on heads anymore.
Xbox boss Phil Spencer revealed the details during his FTC trial testimony. Bethesda Game Studios often goes many years between releases, but following Starfield's launch in September, its next game is The Elder Scrolls 6. But next doesn't mean soon. As Xbox boss Phil Spencer revealed, the game is 5 or more years away, and he isn't sure what systems it will release on.
Bro, I'm gonna be fucking 30 years old by this time this shit releases.
You don't know. You might be 29.
40? Might be 40 if it gets delayed 17 times. Yeah, you're right.
Speaking during his sworn testimony as part of the FTC and Microsoft trial, Spencer was asked about the console exclusivity on Bethesda's games, including The Elder Scrolls 6. He was unable to provide a concrete answer regarding to which platform it would ship on, however, because he himself does not know yet. Here we are, an actual quote.
Those platforms don't yet exist, that's why.
As I said, with Elder Scrolls 6, it's so far out, it's hard to understand what platforms will even be at this point, Spencer said. It's the same team that's finishing Starfield, which comes out this September, so we're talking about a game that's 5+ years away. It's unlikely we'd see the Elder Scrolls 6 release on a PlayStation system, but Spencer's wording suggests we may not even see the game launch on Xbox X or S. Instead, it could potentially come to Microsoft's next system, which may launch in 2028. That, to be honest, is the major information we needed from this, but I will just read this last paragraph. Should it really be 5 or more years before the Elder Scrolls 6 launches, it will have been in some form of development for more than a decade. We recently passed the 5-year point since it was first announced, with a short concept logo at E3. If you want to see what Bethesda is almost ready to launch, check out Starfield gameplay deep dive video above. Yeah, this is Starfield, by the way, if no one knew. That this is what it is.
From those 15 seconds I just watched, I'm not sure how I feel about gunplay, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure about gunplay myself. It doesn't look the most comfortable, which is sad. But
I guess it's one of those things we have to wait and experience it ourselves.
But Will, there's one thing you're forgetting.
What?
Bethesda games and modding communities.
Yeah.
So even if it's not great at launch, give it 6 months.
How many mods were there again for Skyrim?
So, for Skyrim Special Edition, we have over 60,000 mods with 2.6 billion downloads. For regular Skyrim, we have 69.5 thousand, over that, mods with over 1.9 billion downloads.
Fuck me, dude.
For Fallout 4, we have 48.1 thousand mods and 1.1 billion downloads.
Dear God.
Are you noticing a trend of what the top games are that we mod?
It's mostly flipping Bethesda, like the entire front page.
Yeah. It's like Bethesda, 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 Bethesda. Money Man,
Stardew.
Bethesda. CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt Red. Oh, and there's the next Bethesda game. Still down here. I'm pretty sure it's like their majors, actually. Yeah, Morrowind. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
actually, wait. Can we get an exact amount? I think we can. 59,954 mods. 69,471 mods.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Combination of 4.5 billion downloads.
There you go. So, yeah. That's the reason I have gotten very little in regards to worries, because even if I'm not happy with it at launch, I will give it 6 months and there will be something to do. I genuinely have no worries in regard to that.
Now, is this the part where I ask if they'll open it up to the modding community or not?
It's a Bethesda game. They have announced in the past, and while they were talking about Starfield, they want modding communities to do their thing. Plus, they always give us the tools to do it about 6 months after we've already started modding the fuck out of it. So, you know, funny how they do that. But I do have one last thing for us to discuss before we call it a day.
What have you got for us, Roy?
I've been playing a new game.
Ah, you mentioned.
I've been playing BattleBit Remastered.
Ah, yes, of course. I should have known.
I bought it. I've been enjoying it. It's actually really good. You know, when I was when we were worrying, when we were discussing it about, you've got to unlock guns by leveling up. Your first match, you'll level up about 5 times. Matches after that, It might be a bit slower, but I still level up like every match.
Not too bad.
It's relatively easy and it's so fun to play. But it's also got some tactical shooter elements involved in it. So, for example, if you want to reload, you can tap R, and it's a slow reload because you take the mag out, you put it on your back, you take a new mag, and you put it in
guessing
your gun.
there's a double R top reload
Correct.
thing.
Double
Yeah.
tap R, you'll drop your mag, but you can pick it up off the ground. If you have two mags where there's some bullets in each of them, but you've shot some, you can repack your mags to put it all into one. So that way it gets rid of some of the bullets that are just left over. And doing that is just hold P for for about 3 seconds and the packed. Done.
P. It's
I
literally the
think-
opposite side of the keyboard.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10 you're stationary during that time. Let's be honest, as like I do, I hit Z, go prone, I'm out the way, and I just repack my mags, and then I get back to it. Text me, and also 9 times out of 10, I fucking ran out of bullets when I hit reload. If I'm not firing, there's probably a reason. It's called empty mags. But they also have the. Do you remember 2042 when it was announced? The airdrop system.
I don't really know anything of Battlefield. I've never been into them, but I do know the games.
Well, it had an airdrop system, so you could drop some items for yourself. And one of them that you can drop is literally an airdrop. And basically, your points that you earn in a match, you can use resupply points. So when you drop this airdrop, you can basically, with your empty mags in your gun, restock your magazines, which cost like 20 points for your main gun, which is fine. 20 points a mag, I'm fine to spend that. And then I'll just keep killing.
What's points? What do you mean?
So when you kill someone, capture objectives, so on and so forth. Which also gives you experience.
Like match specific, like you start 0 points every match.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But you get like, I think it's 1,000 points just for capturing an objective. So.
Oh, so 20 points for mags is.
Yeah, it's fuck all.
Nothing.
Yeah. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about the point system, but I know that's how much experience you get at minimum. So it could be like 100 points from that, whatever. It's still pretty decent. It's easy to do. I am sad to announce, Will, you are not able to just remove the foundation of a building. So what they've done, and I actually quite like this because it's easy to tell what you can destroy and what you can't.
Is there like giant rebar beams or something that are indestructible?
Kind of. So you know how when we saw them destroying it, it was like proper brick design?
Yeah.
Those you can destroy. Anything, though, that doesn't have like a brick pattern or a pattern on it, and it just looks like a solid object, you can't destroy. So that's like the foundations of the building, for example.
Yeah.
Which
that's sad.
It is sad.
It makes sense. It's completely logical, but it makes me very sad.
I'll tell you what is fun though. If you get an assault, a medic, an engineer, and a sniper on top of a building, the assault always carries a sledgehammer, so he can destroy the stairs so no one can get up to you. But you can actually build at any time, like sandbags and shit, so you can climb on them to get up. Medics, anyone can revive anyone. You just need a bandage, and you can revive anyone. But only a medic can heal your health back up. So it's anyone can do pretty much that job. It's nice and easy to do. I quite like that, to be honest.
I guess each class has like specific perks to its class
as
well. But...
like, for example, engineers can get grappling hooks, so you can get to places you shouldn't be able to go, and they're great for snipers.
A little OP.
Oh, but everyone can do it. That's the thing. All engineers also do have rocket launchers.
But, I'm sorry, have they just turned TF2 into Battlebit? Like,
honestly, man, it's mental. And 127 players versus 127 players. You have never seen mayhem like that.
That still bugs you. Why can't they just add one to each team? Why?
Well, it still makes an even number at the end.
Yeah, but it's doubling from the previous lobby size.
Still, though.
16 versus 16, 32 versus 32, 64 versus 64, and 128 versus 128.
I agree.
I'm OCD. Like you should know this by now that I this would annoy me.
But honestly, if you like when you jump into a match and everyone's attacking like a similar objective, if you're both teams are attacking the same objective, you're talking all out mayhem. It's like an actual battlefield. Now, if you're talking, for example, the other team is running around capping objectives and your team is doing the same but in the opposite direction, when that you're the enemy team come to an objective where there's some people defending, which have happened to me had happened to me a few times, it's like zombies opening the fucking floodgates.
Bro, it's gonna be crazy to see clips that get released where like there's YouTubers just like running with a squad of like 20 other people, and all of a
Oh,
sudden like, they round a corner and there's like a group of 30 just facing them as well, and
oh
it
yeah.
just turns into just instant war zone. You see
Well,
explosions going off everywhere, buildings toppling in the background,
there was this
gunfire flying everywhere.
there was this medic yesterday, and basically you've got voice chat. Now you've got
Yeah,
local
I
voice
know
chat,
there's a few
squad,
different
and
ones.
team. No, not team. So you got squad and local voice chat. Local voice chat works even with the enemies. The enemies can hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You'd expect it to.
Yeah. Squad chat, only squad can hear you, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, there was this medic, and he kept picking people up in this one chokehold, and he was picking me up quite a bit because I kept going down. And he just kept going, right, you sorted, you're up. And he'd then go to the next person and say the exact same. Some guy got so pissed off at him because that's all he was saying and just started screaming, shut the fuck up! And it was just this full rampage between them both. And all the guy kept turning around was, just kept turning around and going to him was, right, you're up, you're sorted, leave, go away, leave, I'm trying to heal, leave. It's like, what the fuck is happening? At one point, I turned around just to see the enemy just shoot this bloody guy who was pissing off the medic. The medic then picked him up and went, right, you sorted, go. It's like, are you trying to wind him up or is he trying to wind you up? Which one's going on here? But honestly, it was such a chuckle to see and so fun to bloody be a part of. The people who play that game are such a laugh. Oh. But no, for how much is it again? £13.99? £12.79. I highly recommend picking it up. And the way the customization of the gun works, basically you need to get kills with that gun. Certain amount of kills will get you the weapon attachment. So you don't get XP with the gun, like for example Call of Duty does. It's literally you get 5 kills with that gun. Okay, you can unlock an attachment. Each attachment needs so many kills. You just check it online and you'll find it. Simple as that. Nice, simplistic, and it works well. And you know what? It's fun to play. It is currently sat at 90% positive, very positive on Steam, with 19,900 reviews. And it only released on the 15th of this month. It has been out for a week and 2 days and was created by a total of 3 people.
Yeah, that's still crazy. 3 devs, man. I'm sure they're ecstatic with themselves.
They should be, especially with the quality of the game and the servers. It runs smooth as butter, and when it comes to like the bloody servers, there's no issues with them at all, which is mental to me. Because when you play Battlefield, all you have is netcode issues, which is still crazy. But yeah, highly recommend if you have play on PC and you want to try this game, go on Steam, check it out. It's cheap as out. If it's your sort of thing, you'll figure it out within like an hour and a half. Then you can refund it if you're not bothered. If you are bothered, keep it, keep playing it. It is only just yesterday, I think it was, updated to patch 1.5, which brings out a new map and it supported the new modes and the modes and sizes, and it's fixed some bugs at the same time. And on Tuesday, it updated to 1.4 with UI fixes and quality of life updates. Sunday, June 18th, it had 1.31, and they did a pricing update on June 15th, the day of release. So literally, since release, it has updated once, twice, three, 4 times, apparently, because they put out a hotfix for the patch yesterday. And they're still updating it, and they've pushed out all that in just over a week. Can't fault it.
Yeah, they've done a hell of a lot, man.
3 developers making a dream come true. Fair play.
Absolutely.
But that's all I've really got, Will, unless you've got anything you'd like to discuss.
No, sir. I'm sorry, I can give one quick mention. Another Nexus community mod. I mentioned to you, 7 Days to Die. Someone has already not someone, loads of people have already been making plenty of mods for the new release, even an experimental build.
Yeah.
And someone made a VR mod for 7 Days to Die.
Does it work well?
It is not bad, honestly, considering how it's already out for the new version, an experimental build. I'm impressed.
That's good to hear.
They should definitely be proud of themselves. It works quite well. There's a little bit of lag when you stop moving. I don't know if it's the game or my controllers, because as you know, I've had a bit of problems with my controllers.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of the mod. There's a very slight, extra movement after you let go. Like you still move for 0.2 of a second.
Yeah.
And from my experience so far, gunplay is awful. I have no idea where the bullets are going, and there's not really any way to figure out where you're aiming. At least it doesn't feel like it's have to wait until I get some weapon attachments before
I get that.
that changes.
Cool. I've got basically 3 things really to add to that then. One, does that mean then you and me will be playing some VR again at some point soon?
We can certainly try. I've been enjoying it.
Sounds good, mate. We'll have to sort that out at some point.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Second thing, people may have noticed. Holy shit! What the hell's gone on?
What?
So, when I started this episode, Will can back me up 100% on this. The names were in the correct places. So now just switch it back. They've switched again. It switched again.
Oh, my friend, you're not having much luck.
No, so I've just switched the photo because I've got both of the photos on simultaneous. So I just hide them when I don't want it. So you might notice I've just had to switch that back. It does keep switching. We don't know why, and we are quite confused by the entire situation. But this is the best we could come up with.
I think with the amount of different problems we've had, I think the universe is just trying to fuck with you this right.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the final thing I'd like to mention, the game 6 Days in Fallujah is now out. I haven't mentioned it because there's a lot of controversy going on about it at the moment. Yeah. It has got 80% positive out of 2,143 reviews.
Sounds like a good start.
9 out of 10 of the issues is pretty much what a lot of people are saying is it's still in early access. It needs time to nail it. It's got the core idea down, but it needs some push to polish itself off. The other thing that you'll see a lot of is if you play this game, you're evil, etc., etc., because of what it's based off of.
So a similar sort of situation with Hogwarts Legacy then?
Yes. Because of what this game's based off of, it's causing upset from people. It's bound to happen. If you enjoy the game, you play the game. If you don't think you'll enjoy it, don't play the game. That's all I can say. Don't let other people be the ones that force you to make a decision. It's not up to them, it's up to you.
And remember,
that's all there is to it.
You remember, you're playing the game for the experience of what the developers have created, not to support whatever people claim it's supporting.
Yeah. And as much as, yes, some horrific things did happen during that fight and that war, that is not the reason you're playing the game. You're playing the game, one, because you get to learn a bit, And yes, if you want to learn the rest of it, there is information out there. You can find it anywhere. And two,
Yep.
because overall, it looks like it'll be a good game. And that, to be honest, is what we're all about as people who play video games.
Depending what happens over the next week with it, we can maybe talk about it more in depth
Yeah,
come next week.
which is the reason I mentioned it briefly at the end.
Sounds good.
But yes, with all that, I'm happy to leave it there if you are.
Absolutely, sir. That's spot on.
Sounds good. Right, if that's the case, thank you all for watching. If you liked the episode and enjoyed what we discussed and the topics we covered this week, please feel free to leave a like, comment. Please comment. We're happy to discuss anything. The TikToks seem to be doing well, so if you're from there,
Hey,
hello.
Even if you don't want to say anything, just leave the letter T. That'll do.
Neither
That's
of
what
us
we're going
drink
for
tea,
this.
but still.
No, that's what we're going for this week. Just the letter T. Changing it up, dude.
Oh, 100%. But no, any engagement means a lot. Likes, comments, subscriptions mean
Even
the world to us. The views are
mean a
phenomenal.
hell of a lot. It's always crazy to see.
It really is, especially like the TikToks lately. They've been doing really well. I think I saw
I'd
one
like
the
to
other day. 50.
remind you, Rory, that you just randomly messaged me one day asking about starting this, and I was just like, okay. And here we are now.
Yeah, keep it on going, and to be honest, it's a good thing to enjoy at the end of the week. It really is. It's a good discussion of what's gone on that week and what's going on with games, and that's what I enjoy. Don't know about yourself, Will, but that's me.
Dude, you know me, I love my games. I love just gaming and gaming and gaming.
Oh, 100%, mate. But with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you all next time. Bye bye for now.
Goodbye, guys.